Nintendo may be bringing the Wii to the Nintendo Switch Online service. This is just a theory, but if Nintendo does this, it will completely change the service overnight. Right now we have a pretty solid lineup of classic consoles. We already have the NES, the SNES, the Nintendo 64, the Game Boy Advance, the GameCube, and even the Sega Genesis. So the next logical consoles to add to the service are both the Wii and the Nintendo DS, but that's a console for another video. Each one of these consoles brings its own era of nostalgia, but none would hit as hard as the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii wasn't just another console. It was a cultural moment, motion controls, family gaming, and some of the most iconic casual and hardcore titles Nintendo has ever made. So today I'm going to break down which Wii games actually make sense for the Nintendo Switch Online membership. Starting with New Super Mario Bros. Wii. This one feels like an absolute lock. New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a 2D platformer that brings classic side-scrolling Mario into a more modern, chaotic multiplayer format. Supporting up to 4 players at once, and with the online service online, it is just pure fun and chaos. What makes it perfect for the Nintendo Switch Online is how easy it translates. No heavy motion controls required, just tight platforming and pure Mario fun. And like I said, with online multiplayer, this could honestly become one of the most played games on the entire service. It's simple, nostalgic, and endlessly replayable. You cannot talk about the Wii without talking about Wii Sports. This was the game that defined the console. Boxing, tennis, bowling, everyone has memories with it. The challenge here is the motion controls. But if Nintendo adapts it using the Joy-Con motions or even button alternatives, it could work surprisingly well. And honestly, bringing this game to online play, that's a huge win. Imagine bowling or tennis matches online. It's casual, competitive, and perfect for the NSO audience. But if you want to also get the full experience, also add Wii Sports Resort. This game takes everything from the original and expands it into a full-on experience with 12 different sports on Wuhu Island. With improved motion tracking thanks to the Wii Motion Plus, it offered way more precision and depth. Translating that to the Switch 2 might be a little tricky, but not impossible, especially with the Joy-Con capabilities. If done right, this could feel like a full modern sports package inside the NSO, not just a retro bonus because let's be honest, Switch Sports... Yikes. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This is where things get interesting. Twilight Princess is one of the most beloved Zelda games ever. Originally launching for the GameCube and also on the Wii with motion-based combat, it is one of the most iconic games of the console. But here's the thing, it also exists in more traditional control formats. Again, this game was also released on the Nintendo GameCube and it has an HD port on the Nintendo Wii U. Where I think Nintendo can bring Twilight Princess to the NSO on the Wii app. I mean, sure, they could also bring it to the Nintendo GameCube app, but remember, that launched with The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, so you can already play The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on the NSO, so to have even another reason to try out the Wii one, well, you can play Twilight Princess on there. At this point, I don't think Nintendo is ever going to re-release The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess or Wind Waker in HD for the Nintendo Switch 2, but just being able to play them on the NSO, I think that's the way Nintendo is going to try to bring these games, because if not, why haven't we had The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on the GameCube app already? So yeah, I think Nintendo is saving themselves some extra work and they're just going to bring the game to the Wii app on the Nintendo Switch 2. And you know what? Also bring Link's Crossbow training. This is a wild card pick, but honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Link's Crossbow training was built around the Wii Zapper and focused entirely on precision shooting. On the Nintendo Switch 2, this could translate really well while using the gyro aiming. It's short, arcade-like, and perfect for a quick session. Exactly the kind of game people love jumping into on NSO. I mean, sure, it's no headliner, but it is a great addition, especially if you adapt it to mouse controls. So imagine aiming with the mouse controls. I think it could be a really good addition. Next up, I have the Metroid Prime Trilogy. If Nintendo really wants to go all out, this is the big one. Metroid Prime Trilogy bundles 3 of the greatest first-person adventure games ever made, and these are all redesigned for the Wii controls. Bringing this to the NSO would be massive, not just for nostalgia, but for introducing new players to the series, especially the ones who just got introduced to the series with Metroid Prime 4. The only question is if Nintendo wants to add them all in one bundle, or maybe they want to do it separately, so bring in Metroid Prime 2 on the GameCube app and Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii app. I mean, that also works. I mean, sure, they could also bring Metroid Prime 1 to the GameCube, but we already have Metroid Prime Remastered for the Nintendo Switch. In fact, before going further, these are some apps that I do not expect to see on the NSO. We already have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Switch port available, most of the best tracks are already available in the Booster Course Pass, Switch port available, Switch port available, Switch port available, Switch port available, and yeah, that's it, everything else is fair play. Next up I have Kirby's Epic Yarn. This game is pure charm. Kirby's Epic Yarn trades traditional gameplay for a more relaxed, creative experience with a yarn-based art style. It doesn't rely heavily on motion controls, which makes it perfect for the Nintendo Switch Online. It's accessible, visually unique, and great for co-op. Honestly, this is the kind of game that adds variety to the NSO library, and it also appeals to a wider audience. Now for one of my favorite games on the Nintendo Wii, Punch-Out! Punch-Out on the Wii is a revival done right, even if after this game the series died again. This game has tight gameplay, memorable characters, and a perfect balance between motion and button controls. That last part is key, because it means it could easily work on the Nintendo Switch without losing anything. This could be an amazing addition for players who really want something more skill-based and challenging on the Nintendo Switch Online. And it's been 17 years, 17! Damn! It's been 17 years since the last Punch-Out game, so Nintendo, please just give us a brand new Punch-Out game, or even just bring this to the Nintendo Wii app. Next up I have WarioWare Smooth Moves. This game is chaos in the best way possible. WarioWare Smooth Moves is built entirely around motion-based minigames, constantly changing how you hold and use the controller. Translating that to the Switch 2 would be a little bit tricky, but also very possible with the Joy-Cons. If Nintendo leans into the weirdness, this could become one of the most fun party experiences on the Nintendo Switch Online. Just pure random fun. Speaking of, Rythm Heaven Fever. Rythm Heaven Fever is one of those cult classics that people still talk about to this day. It's all about timing, music, and quirky humor. The good news, it barely relies on motion controls, meaning it will translate perfectly to the Switch 2. This could easily become one of the most addictive games on the service. Simple to learn, but hard to master. Before going into our last game, be sure to check out the description in order for you to be able to get this very same jacket with a special discount code exclusive to this channel. So check out the description if you want to get this very cool Zelda jacket. Alright, the final game is Wii Party. Wii Party is basically Nintendo's attempt at redefining party games, featuring dozens of minigames and unique modes designed for a group play. Bringing this to the NSO would make a lot of sense, especially with online multiplayer. It's casual, social, and perfect for streaming or playing with friends. If Nintendo wants to add more value to the Nintendo Switch Online membership, yeah, this is exactly the type of game they need to add to the service. But anyways, this is just my wish list and speculation of what Nintendo can add to the Nintendo Wii app if they decide to add it to the Nintendo Switch Online membership. Still, we are just getting started on the GameCube, we just got Pokemon DX, and there's a bunch of games they still need to port to the GameCube app. I mean, they barely add any new games. And just in case you were wondering why didn't I add the Virtual Boy at the beginning of the video, that's because it hasn't released in Mexico. And it's not available on our eShop, so that's a whole nother thing. If you want more information, let me know in the comments down below and I can make a whole video about that. But yeah, tell me which games would you like to see on the NSO Wii app if that ever comes. I think it will come eventually to the Nintendo Switch 2. It's a young console, maybe we'll get these games eventually further down the line. But anyways, my name is DAGG. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel, and I'll catch you next time. See ya! Bye!